In this video lesson, we're going to be taking a look at the Input Quantize feature in Pro Tools. So from the Event menu, Event Operations, Input Quantize, and the first thing we'll want to do is enable Input Quantize. Just keep in mind that once you enable it, it remains enabled for the remainder of your session, as does your Quantize grid selection. And should you quit Pro Tools, the next time you open it, Input Quantize will be enabled, as will the same grid selection. All right. What I'm going to be playing here to kind of test this out and show you what can be done is I'm going to be playing a series of quarters, eighths, and sixteenths. And the reason I have 16th notes selected for my grid is the rule of thumb for quantization, whether it's input or regular quantize, is you quantize to the smallest subdivision of the beat. So since I'll be playing 16ths, 16th note grid is what I'm going to have selected. All right, so what you'll hear me play is 1 bar for free, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. Here we go. All right, let's see how we did. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. Command right bracket. Scoot that out of the way. And let's go down to 16th note grid, so we'll actually have 16th note grid lines and see how Pro Tools snapped it to those 16th note grid lines. All right. So for my quarter note, well, this one that got quantized fine. This one, Pro Tools said, well, you played it so early, I'm snapping it to this 16th note grid as opposed to that one. This eighth note, well, again, I played so early, it snapped it to the next earliest 16th. It should have been there. That one's okay. That's okay. That's okay. This one was too early. This one it snapped too early. This one got snapped too early. This one got snapped too early. Woo-wee. And as I'm playing 16th notes, wow. Looks like all those got snapped way too early. It made such a mess of it, I can't even tell. All right? So, as far as Input Quantize goes, you really have to, the lesson here is you really have to be playing, there we go, you really have to be playing accurately with the beat. You really do. Otherwise, it's just going to make a mess out of what you're doing. Now, I will show you where it can come in handy, is I'll delete all these notes of mixed values, and this time I'll just play in eighth notes, which should be pretty easy to play along with this beat. So let's go ahead and try that. I may have better results there when I'm just playing a single note value and not trying to mix note values. Okay, so let's try that. All right, let's see how we did there. And I can see that I did better. Okay? And sometimes with Input Quantize, it can make such a mess of what you did. You can just try doing it over and see what happens. Speaking for myself personally, I never use Input Quantize. I prefer just to lay the track in as is and then use the Quantize options to get it exactly as I want it. Okay? So anyway, Input Quantize here, you can see that when I had eighth note grid selected and just played eighth notes at this tempo, it did a pretty good job. So just kind of knowing what if you know what your outcome is or you know what your goal is, you can experiment with it and see if it gives you the results that you like. Okay? Just so you know it's there. All right, so Input Quantize. That's it.